Dwyer of the Naval Investigative Service that I am suspected of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct unbecoming of a United States Marine in the matter of Private First Class William T. Santiago. I have been advised that I have the right to remain silent and make no statement at all.
Any statement I do make can be used against me in a trial by court-martial or any other administrative or judicial proceeding. I have been given the right to consult a lawyer prior to further questioning.
I am presently assigned to Weapons Security Company, Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I am a PFC in the United States Marine Corps, assigned to Marine Weapons Security Company, Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta. I will have been in the Marine Corps 10 months as of August.
I entered the barrack rooms of Private Santiago on the evening of 6 July, at or about 2350. I was accompanied by PFC Loudon Downey.
I was accompanied by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
We tied his hands and feet with rope.
We tied Private Santiago's hands and feet with rope and forced a piece of cloth into his mouth.
We placed duct tape over his eyes and mouth.
I have read this two-page statement prepared for me by Special Agent McGuire at my request. As we discuss its content, I have been allowed to make all changes and corrections, initializing those changes and corrections.
These statements are true and factual, to the best of my knowledge.
Andy,
I'm late.
you know what I just saw?
No, but I'm genuinely late.
There's a lady lawyer from Internal Affairs wandering around the hallways.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
Is she stealing things?
No.
Tell me why I
Ordinarily, when they send a lawyer around from Internal Affairs to talk to the lawyers, it means someone screwed up.
Yeah, do you think it's you?
No.
Have you done something wrong?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I think so. I don't know. Look, I've been very tired. Do me a favor, would you?
Sure.
If she talks to you, if she mentions anything about Dematis.
Who?
Dematis, my guy, who's an engineer who got caught littering in the Admiral's Tulip Garden. I may have had some problems. Would you cover me?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. I don't have any idea about what the hell you're talking about, but
Dematis.
he's the engineer littering the Admiral's turnaround.
Tulips.
Tulips. Got it.
Where do you go?
I'm representing an ensign who wants to smoke $10 worth of oregano.
Cover the weed?
I can only hope.
You're not concerned?
What's he going to be charged with? Possession of a condiment? He's going to get a C misdemeanor, 15 days restricted duty.
Talking about the internal affairs. You're not concerned?
My softball team is playing Bethesda Medical tomorrow. I mean, I can't be concerned about anything else. I'll see you at lunch.
Good morning, I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Captain Whitaker, come on in.
Thank you for seeing me on such short notice.
Vronsky said you were reopening a case.
Yes.
Vronsky and I go way back.
Speaks very highly of you, sir.
Yeah. That's bullshit, right?
Yes, sir.
Have I seen you before?
I don't believe we formally...
You work in internal affairs.
Yes, sir.
I hate internal affairs.
Yes, sir.
You're a woman?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Wait. You were the one who recycled those 14B misdemeanors last winter.
That may have been me.
14B misdemeanors. Drunk and disorderly. You have them closed.
No, sir, you didn't. Your blue charge file sheets weren't filed in Division IC1.
Who gives a shit?
My boss, the Judge Advocate General.
No, he doesn't carry more than I do. This was you.
These are the rules, sir. I'm sure you understand.
You had my guys working Christmas Day, filling out charge sheets in longhand. Christmas Day, Commander.
It was an interest of justice, sir.
Okay. You here to bother anyone?
No, sir. Absolutely not. Only if necessary.
What can I do for you?
2 prisoners are being taken to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They plead guilty to murder. And over the weekend, I petitioned Captain Vronsky to deny the guilty pleas and to order the prisoners moved here to Washington to be assigned to counsel.
What's the problem with the guilty pleas? Did somebody misspell conspiracy?
No, sir. But the prisoners plead guilty at 3 o'clock in the morning during a 20-minute interview dispute at which neither had an attorney to.
So Bronski's bringing him up to Washington.
You'll be receiving a memo from the division assigning you an attorney, which brings you back.
Yes?
I like a favor.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
What's the favor?
Tell the division you want to assign an attorney outside your department,
Why?
because I'm a lawyer outside your department.
And don't think I'm not grateful.
I brought a recommendation letter from Captain Brown.
Says you're an investigator. Why do you want to get mixed up in grunt work?
I don't consider this grunt work,
It's a
sir.
5-minute plea bargain and we sort of paper.
I look forward with relish, sir.
Do you always talk as if your dialogue was written by a person who just isn't very good at it?
I'm sorry if my overeagerness is grating.
It's not. It's endearing. You could have heard a cartoon squirrel.
I want to make sure this is handled properly.
Have you even done litigation before?
First year with Jack Ford.
How many cases have you had?
Altogether,
Yes.
6.
How did you do?
From what perspective?
Your compliance.
No.
Okay.
Excuse me, Isaac. This just came for you. It's from division.
Those were the cases that were lost in the merit, sir.
This is Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Really?
How do you do?
Really enjoyed last Christmas.
Oh, no.
So what do you say?
Commander, may I call you Joanne?
Yes, please.
Joanne, you seem like a fairly harmless, neurotic person.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And while I'd like to help you, there are currently 2 things preventing me. The first is that while I believe you do an exceedingly thorough job in your current assignment with internal affairs, I have a hunch that as a litigator, you know nothing. So,
Yes, but
the second is that division's already signed an attorney.
what?
I'm not sure why they care, but it's out of my hands now. They want you to brief them that apparently you've got some letters and stuff.
Yes.
Got a break.
Thank you for your time, Captain.
You can call me Isaac.
And what was the name of the attorney?
Officer on deck.
Daniel Captain.
They're giving you a lawyer. They're going to move you up to Washington, D.C. Give you a lawyer who's going to ask some questions. I want you to remember something about these lawyers. They don't care about anything. They don't care about honor or loyalty. They don't care about Colonel Jessup. They don't care about Lieutenant Kendrick. They don't care about me, and they don't care about you. They're clowns. That is why, so help me God, they're the only ones who can save you right now. I want you boys to be smart. Talk to your lawyer.
Just take the OT. This is 4th UA. You're not going to do any better than that.
I don't think I need to settle for an OTH. I mean, if I file a motion to suppress,
Motion is suppressed.
absolutely.
On what ground?
Grounds.
See, this is where your strategy begins to fall apart.
Take the OT.
Excuse me. Sorry I'm late.
It's fine. I'm sure you have a good excuse.
No, not really. I just didn't care enough about this meeting to be on time.
He's kidding. Commander Galloway, this is Lieutenant Captain.
Oh, how do you do?
You're JG.
I beg your pardon?
This is the attorney the division assigned.
Yep.
I wrote a 17-page memo to Captain Bronski outlining the situation. I plead my case for a half an hour in his living room. And the attorney the division assigned Lieutenant. Should you agree?
Have I come at a bad time?
Commander Galloway from Internal Affairs.
Whatever Sam did with that guy in the tulip garden, it wasn't his fault. He was tired. How's that?
Thanks very much.
See, Sam has a baby at home. Well, he is sure she's about to say her first words any day now.
How do you know?
She just looks like she has something to say.
Lieutenant, she's 14 months old. What could she possibly have to say?
Well, we got a pool going on work if you want in. $10, pick a word off the grid.
What's left?
Rosebud.
Captain, with all due respect.
Get started. Danny, Commander Galloway's here because you've been detailed by the division.
Ooh. Detailed to do what?
Details handle this. Listen up. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, a Marine, PFC William P. Santiago, claims that he knows the identity of another Marine who illegally fired rounds from his weapon over the fence line. Santiago ends his letter by offering the identity of the Marine in exchange for a transfer off base.
What's the fence line?
Sam?
all separating the good guys from the bad guys.
Okay. And fired over the fence line was Santiago squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson. The fence line shooting, however, is completely beside the point.
What is the point?
Santiago is dead.
What happened?
2 Marines, Dawson and another man from Santiago's unit, PFC Loudon Downey, came into his room, tied his hands and feet with rope, and stuck a rag into his mouth. Doctors said the line was laced with some kind of toxin.
They poison the rag.
Not according to them.
What do they say?
Not much. They're being shipped up here tomorrow, Thursday at 0600. You're going to catch transport down to Cuba. Find out what you can. Then you're out within 3 in the room. Any questions?
Was that 0600 in the morning, sir?
The division wants me to assign backup on this. Any volunteers? And
Sir, I have a pile of work on my desk.
work with Kathy on this.
Doing what?
Various administrative, backup, whatever.
In other words, I have no responsibilities whatsoever.
Right.
What kind of case?
Lieutenant Cappy, how long have you been in the Navy?
I beg your pardon?
How long have you been in the Navy?
Going on 9 months now.
Ever been in the courtroom?
Well, I had my license suspended once.
All right, Captain, this is absurd.
Okay. Danny, Commander, if this thing ever went to trial, those boys wouldn't need a lawyer. They'd need a priest.
No, they need a lawyer.
Isaac, I'd just like to say, for the record, this is the least fun I've ever had at one of your staff meetings.
Lieutenant Cappy is generally considered one of the best litigators in our office. Successfully plea bargained 44 cases in less than a year.
One more, and I get a set of steak knives.
One of the veterans we talked about is the CO, Colonel Nathan Jessup. I assume you've heard of him.
Ma'am?
He's been in the papers lately. A golden boy of the Corps, expected to be appointed Director of Operations to the NSC. Very big inside the DoD.
Wait, how does someone get very big inside the DOD? Is he touring? Did he cut it out?
On top of his inventory of Santiago's footlocker and 90 down. 4 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of black socks, 4
Mayor!
Yes.
I'm just not so sure that socks and underwear are going to factor into this investigation.
I'm saying that we need to get back his purse belongings after evidence.
Sam, you're in charge of socks and underwear.
Good thing I went to school for 21 years.
These are the letters that Santiago wrote during his 8 months of GitHub.
On out of the way.
Yeah, I knew that one.
He wrote to his recruiter, the HQ in Atlantic, the Commandant of Marines, even his senator. He wanted to be transferred off the base, but nobody was listening. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Finally, he wrote his letter. We established information for Corporal Dawson's fence line shooting. This is the only evidence we have for Dawson to kill Santiago.
Gotcha. Santiago is who?
The victim?
Write that down, Sam. Now, am I right in assuming that these letters don't paint a very flattering picture of Santiago's treatment by the Marine Corps?
Yes.
And am I also right in assuming that a protracted investigation might cause some embarrassment for Sinatra?
Who?
The base commander. You know, the guy who was all hot at the Pentagon.
Colonel Nathan Jessup?
Yeah, 12 years.
I'm sorry.
I'll get it knocked down to 12 years for involuntary manslaughter. They'll probably be home in 7.
You haven't even talked to a witness. Or looked at a piece of paper.
Pretty impressive, right?
Either that or just criminally stupid. Which do you think I'm guessing is right now?
Excuse me, sir. Ma'am, do you have some sort of jurisdiction I should know about?
I'm special counsel for internal affairs, Lieutenant. My jurisdiction is pretty much in your face. Read the letters. Thank you for the time, Captain.
You're not leaving already, are you?
Yes, sir. I have to audit some paperwork on an engineer found littering in the Admiral's Tulip Garden. Someone may have forgotten to dot a few I's.
And she was talking about you. You think?
The two of you don't get cute down there. The Marines who won Guantanamo are fanatical.
Dear sir,
About what?
Going to be Marines.
my name is PFC William T. Santiago. I'm a Marine stationed at Marine Barracks Windward, Guantanamo
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm writing to inform you of my problems and ask for your help. I've been mistreated since the very first day I arrived. I've been punished for passing out on runs when the doctor says I just have heat exhaustion. This is just one incident of mistreatment, and I could name many more. But I do not want to take up more of your time than I'm allowed to, sir. I've written many letters and gotten back no response. So I must try something else. I know of a fence line shooting that took place here 4 nights ago. One of the members of my unit illegally discharged his weapon into Cuban territory. I will give you his name in exchange for the transfer. I ask you to help me. Please. Please, sir. I just want to get transferred out of RSC.
Excuse me, sir. Captain Markinson and Lieutenant Kendrick to see you, sir.
Thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Colonel.
Matthew, John, take a seat.
Thank you.
$1,000. It's already hot enough to melt the brass off your collar. Just had this Navy guy in here trying to tell me we should feel lucky. After all, this is dry heat. Dry heat. It's 107 degrees outside. How am I supposed to feel about that? Matthew, you've been here the longest? This is about as hot as it gets, or am I actually trapped in hell?
This is as hot as it's been since maybe 84.
84 is pretty bad.
Got up to 119 degrees.
Capering half in smoke, and half in fire. That's Moby Dick, John. John, you don't have to nod your head up and down like you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
I won't regard you as any less of a man just because you're not well read.
Thank you, sir.
I mean it, John.
I appreciate that, sir.
119 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Submarines passing out right and left.
No, the men were all right.
Nobody passed out.
Not that I recall.
Nobody got dizzy or hyperventilated. No heat exhaustion.
No, sir.
That's impressive. Do you know why those Marines didn't pass out back in 84, Jonathan? Even though it's 119 degrees by Marx's reckoning. Do you know why they stayed on their job?
Why, sir?
Because that's what they're trained to do.
Yes, sir.
Now, who the hell is this PFC William T. Santiago?
Also a deckhead, Hood!
Good morning, I'm Commander Galloway.
Man, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, man, Weapons Security Company, Wigware.
Man, Private First Class Loud Downey, man.
Stand easy. I work for the Navy JAG Corps. I'm the one who brought you up here. I was just wondering if there was any questions that you might have. It's natural for you to be a little frightened or confused. So, if there are any questions...
Ma'am, permission to speak?
Sure.
I got some Spider-Mans and some Batmans in my footlocker. Somebody will talk to them for sure if they're not secured, man.
Do you think this is a joke?
Ma'am, no ma'am.
How about you? Do you think this is a joke?
No, ma'am, it's not a joke, ma'am.
I apologize to Commander, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing. About the books, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing.
You were to read your Article 31 rights. Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you understand them.
Ma'am, I understand them, ma'am.
MP, take Private Dawson to the holding room. I'm going to talk to Private Downey for a moment.
Aye, Commander. All right, let's move. Hey, asshole! I said move it!
Ma'am, permission to be dismissed?
You're dismissed. Hi. Your only living relative on your mother's side is Ginny Miller. Is that right? Ginny Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
She hasn't been contacted yet. Would you like me to contact her? I'll contact her. Private, do you know why you're here?
This is where the guard come to stand, ma'am.
Why? Love it. May I call you Loudon?
Yes, ma'am.
Loudon, do you know where you are or why you've been arrested?
Willie died, ma'am.
Why? Was it an accident or did you mean to do it? Loudon, I know about code reds.
Ma'am?
What's a code red? I can help you.
Ma'am, I don't need those comic books. You can have them if you like.
You gotta talk to somebody, Loudon. They're gonna try to pin you in the tent. They were gonna try to say there's a retaliation of Santiago, which it wasn't. Was it?
Ma'am, permission to speak?
Go ahead.
Are you our lawyer, ma'am?
I'm a lawyer, but I'm not the one representing you.
Captain Markinson told us to talk to our lawyer, ma'am. That's what he told us to do.
All right, men on first, one down, let's go for two. Hit a few up to Shirley, will you? Shirley, come on, you gotta get your glove down and pick some dirt up with the ball. Come on. Get your glove down.
Excuse me.
1 second. Shirley, you got it. If you keep your eyes open while the ball is coming at you, you increase your chances of catching it by a factor of 10. You want to suit up? We could use all the help we can get.
No thanks. I don't catch and throw things.
Well, that's a shame, because neither can any of us.
Dr. Dawson and Downey.
I've done something wrong, haven't I?
I just want to know why 2 prisoners have been in the cell since this morning while their lawyers outside hitting a ball.
We need the practice.
That wasn't funny.
It was a little funny.
Lieutenant, would you feel very insulted if I recommend your supervisor for a different counsel to be assigned?
Why?
I don't know how to say this without hurting your feelings, but I don't think you're fit to handle this defense.
You don't even know me. I mean, ordinarily it takes someone hours to figure out I'm not fit to handle a defense. Commander, I think there are some people that would have found that was very funny.
I do know you. And I know who your father was. And I know you went to Harvard Law on a Navy scholarship and just probably treading water for the last 3 years you got to serve. Just kind of hanging low till you can get out and get a real job. And if that's the case, that's fine. I won't tell anyone. But my feeling is that this case is handling that fast food, slick ass, Persian bazaar manner like everything else you handle, then something's gonna get missed. And I wouldn't be doing my job right if I allowed Private Dodson and Downey to spend any more time in jail because the attorney had determined the path of least resistance.
I may be picking the wrong time to ask you this, but are you seeing anyone? Because I think you and I... Yes, ma'am?
I don't think your clients killed anyone.
Well, we're just going to have to take their word for it, aren't we?
I mean, I don't think there was any intent.
Look, the doctor's report said that Santiago died of asphyxiation brought on by acute lactic acidosis, and that the nature of the acidosis strongly suggests poison. Now, I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
The doctor's wrong.
Oh, what a relief. You know, I was afraid we weren't going to be able to use the liar pants on fire. Look, rest assured, I'm completely on top of the situation with Dawson and Donald.
Downey.
Down.
I'll speak to your supervisor.
I understand. You're going to go straight down Pennsylvania Avenue, the big white house with the pillars on the front.
Thank you.
I don't think you'll have much luck, though. I mean, I was detailed by division, remember? So clearly someone over there thinks that I'm a good lawyer. So while I appreciate your interest and admire your passion, I think I can handle it from here on.
Do you know what a code red is?
I'm appalled, sir.
No, I don't.
Find out.
You're appalled, Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's some pretty strong language there. I mean, you better cool off before you work yourself into a lather. You're appalled. Santiago's written letters to everyone but Santa Claus complaining about his treatment. He's broken the chain of command, threatened to rat out a member of his unit, of his squad, for Christ's sake. I mean, say nothing of the fact that this kid's a U.S. Marine, and it would appear he can't run from here to there without passing out from heat exhaustion. What the hell is going on over at Windward, Matthew?
Colonel, I think it might be more appropriate if this discussion were held in private. That won't be necessary, Colonel. I can handle the problem. The way you handled Curtis Barnes, the methods of leadership are what brought me to this place.
Don't interrupt me!
I'm still your superior officer.
Now yours, Matthew! Now, how are we going to handle this?
I think we got transfer Private Santiago, sir. Right away, now.
Transfer Santiago.
Yes, sir.
Well, suppose you're right. Suppose that's the thing to do. Wait. No, I'll get a better idea. Let's just transfer the whole squad off the base. Yeah. No. On second thought, Windward. Let's transfer the whole Windward division while we're at it. John, why don't you go outside, get those boys down off the wall, tell them they're packing their bags. Tom!
Sir.
Tom, I want you to call the president for me. Tell him we're surrendering our position in Cuba.
Sir? Yes, sir.
Actually, wait just a minute, Tom. Maybe you ought to let us consider this for a moment. You're dismissed. Maybe instead of giving up because a Marine made a mistake, maybe we ought to train Santiago. I don't know, I'm just spitballing. What do you think? But maybe we have a responsibility to this country to ensure that the men and women charged with its protection are properly trained professionals. Maybe we have that responsibility to the Corps as well. I'm fairly certain I once read something like that. See? Now, I'm wondering how I might feel if a Marine got hurt or killed because a PFC in my command didn't know what the hell he was doing. This brief meditation has brought me around to thinking that your suggestion of transferring Santiago, well, expeditious and certainly painless, may not be, in a manner of speaking, the American way. Santiago stays where he is. We're going to train Noel. John, I want you in charge of this. Santiago doesn't make 4646 on his next ProCom report. I'm going to blame you. Then I'm going to kill you.
Colonel, you're making a mistake.
Matthew, I believe we will have that word in private now. John, that'll be all. Why don't we grab lunch at the Oak Club later? We can discuss how to train in private.
I'd be delighted, sir.
Dismissed. Matthew, take a seat. What's your opinion of Lieutenant Kendrick, Matthew?
Nathan, my opinion of John Kennedy
Well,
is
yeah,
important.
I think he's kind of a weasel myself.
Yes, sir.
But he's a damn good officer. And at the end of the day, we agree on the best way to run a Marine Corps unit. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. With every degree that we allow ourselves to fall off the mark of perfection, people die. I think that taking a Marine and sending him off to another assignment without the proper training, well, that's about the same as sending a kid into the jungle with a weapon that backfires. Matthew! Sit down. I'm younger than you are, Matthew. If that's a source of tension or embarrassment for you, I don't give a shit. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. Don't you ever question my orders in front of another officer again.
Officer on deck. Lieutenant Hunt.
Hi.
Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir.
Someone hasn't been working and playing well with others, Harold.
Sir, Private First Class Loudon Downey, sir.
And I'm Daniel Cappy. I'm your attorney. And this is Sam Wyman. He's from the AC Nielsen Media Research. He's going to tell you all about viewer preferences in the Caribbean Command. At ease. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. Is this your signature?
Sir, yes, sir.
And you certainly don't have to do it twice in one sentence. Now, what is the code red?
Sir,
Seriously, you do not have to call me sir. Now, what is a code red?
sir, a code red is a disciplinary engagement.
What's that?
Sir, a Marine has fallen out of line. It's the responsibility of the men in his unit to get him back on track.
Do you know about this?
It's like a hazing.
What's a garden variety code red?
Sir,
Harold, you say sir, and I turn around and look for my father. Come on, garden variety, typical. What's a basic code red?
sir, a Marine has refused to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his unit would give him a GI shower.
And what's that?
Scrub brushes, Brillo pads, steel wool.
Beautiful.
Was the attack on Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Does he ever talk?
Sir, Private Downey will answer any questions you directly ask him, sir.
Swell. Well, it says here that you denied putting poison on the rag.
Yes, sir.
What was it you were going to do?
We were just going to shave his head, sir. We were just going to shave his head.
And all of a sudden,
We saw blood dripping out of his mouth. That's when we pulled off the tape and took out the gag.
was there more blood?
All down his face, sir. That's when Corporal Dawson called the ambulance.
You called the ambulance.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't in the report.
We were never asked about it, sir.
Did anyone see you call the ambulance?
No, sir.
Were you there when the ambulance arrived?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest.
Alright. Now I want to tell you two about something called attorney-client privilege. It means that you can tell us anything you want. We're not allowed to repeat it without your permission. It's against the law. We took an oath. You took an oath, didn't you, Sam?
Yeah.
See? Sam up here. Now, Harold. Did you attack Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
To train him, sir.
Train him to do what?
To train him to think of his unit before himself. To train him to respect the code, sir.
What's the code?
Who cares?
No. What's the code?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
I beg your pardon?
Our code is Unit, Corps, God, Country. That's our code, sir.
Seems to be working out well for
We'll be back later. Is there anything you guys need? Books, paper, cigarettes, a ham sandwich?
No, thank you, sir.
Harold, there's a concept I think you better start warming up to.
Sir?
I'm the only friend you've got.
And Captain.
Smiling Jack Ross.
I hope for Dawson and Downey sake you can practice law better than you play softball.
Well, unfortunately for Dawson and Downey, I don't do anything better than I play softball. Alright. What are we looking at?
You'll plead to manslaughter. I'll drop the conspiracy into bad conduct. 20 years, they're home and out that time.
I want 12.
Can't do it.
They called the ambulance.
I don't care if they call the Avon lady. They killed a Marine.
The rag was tested for poison. The autopsy, the lab report, even the initial COD and ER report all say the same thing. Maybe not.
The chief of internal medicine at Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital says he's sure.
What do you know about Code Red, Jack?
Oh, shit. We off the record?
Nope.
I'll give you the 12 years. But, before you're getting yourself into trouble down there, know this. The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, had a meeting with the men, and specifically told them not to touch Santiago.
I'll see you when I get back.
Do we have a deal?
Talk to me when I get back. Come on in.
Thank you.
Any luck getting me replaced?
Is there anyone in this community who will drink or play softball?
Say Commander.
You can call me Joe.
Joe. Joe, I have no inbred hostility towards you. Really, I don't. But if you ever speak to a client of mine again without my permission, I will have you disbarred.
I had authorization.
You had authorization from where?
Aunt Ginny, Loudon Downey's closest living relative, his aunt on his mother's side.
You had authorization from Aunt Ginny?
Very nice woman. Talked about for an hour.
You had authorization from Aunt Ginny. Does Aunt Ginny have a barn? We could hold the trial there. Maybe I could sew costumes, and his Uncle Goober could be the judge.
More good news. My office has been encouraging me more to get out of the district to see what our workers are doing in the field. Guess where I'm going?
Target range.
I'm going to Cuba with you tomorrow.
Bitch, just keep on coming.
She's asleep now. When Laura gets home, you're my witness. The baby spoke. My daughter said a word.
She made a sound, Sam. I'm not so sure it was a word.
Oh, come on, it was a word.
Fine.
You heard her. She sat right here, pointed, and said, Pa. She did, she said, Pa.
He was pointing at a doorknob.
That's right. Pointing, as if to say, Pa, look, a doorknob.
You know, I went to see Jack Ross today. He offered me 12 years.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah. I guess, I'll take it.
So?
Took him about 45 seconds. The man barely put up a fight.
Danny, take the 12 years. It's like a gift.
You don't believe their story, do you? You think they should go to jail for the rest of their lives.
No, I believe every word they said. And I think they should go to jail for the rest of their lives.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget to wear your whites.
I don't look good in whites.
Nobody looks good in whites. We're going to Cuba in July. You got Dramamine?
What, Dramamine is going to keep me cool?
No, you get sick when you fly.
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of crashing into large mountains. I don't think Dramamine is going to help.
I got some oregano. I hear that works pretty good.
Yeah. You know, Jack Ross said the strangest thing to me before I left. He said the platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, had a meeting with his men and specifically told them not to touch Santiago.
So?
I'd never mentioned Kendrick. I don't even know who he is. What the hell? I'll see you tomorrow.
10 hut!
Squad leaders front and center. Report.
Sir, Corporal Dunn, Elm Squad present, sir!
Corporal Hamilton Bravo's present.
Sir, Corporal Howard, Charlie's present.
Sir, Lance Corporal Dawson, Delta's present, less 2.
Private Santiago has been excused from this meeting. Where's Private Downey?
Downey radioed a switch, sir. His Jeep blew out. He and a pickup are making it back by foot.
Pass on my words to Private Downey. Anything I say to the squad leaders at this meeting is to be considered a direct order to the members of your squads. Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Revelations 2. I know thy works and thy labor, and that thou canst not bury them who are evil. And thou hast tried them who say they are apostles, and found them to be liars. If you're a PFC and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your corporal, sir!
If you're a corporal and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your sergeant, sir!
Private Santiago of Delta Squad has laid waste to our priorities and made wretched our code. Priorities!
Unit, corps, God, country!
Code!
Unit, corps, God, country!
What are we here to fight for?
Unit, corps, God, country!
What are we here to fight for?
Unit, corps, God, country!
Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be right?
Sir, no, sir!
Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be good?
Sir, no, sir!
Corporal Dunn,
Sir!
do you think you and the boys of Alpha Squad can show Private Santiago how to be right?
Sir, yes, sir!
Anyone in Alpha goes near me, you have to answer to me. Is that clear?
Sir!
Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Alpha's dismissed. Corporal Hammaker.
Sir!
How are my brave men of Bravo? I bet if I turn this over to you, Santiago's Marine by sunrise, am I right?
Sir, yes, sir!
Bravo touches him and you'll be filling sandbags until you beg for mercy. Dismissed. Corporal Howard.
Sir!
I have two things to say to you. The first is that I believe you and the men of Charlie's squad are outstanding Marines, and your influence would be invaluable on the private. The second is that the United States government retains a military installation in the Arctic Circle. And if that you so much as look funny at the private, you'll be scraping icicles off of igloos. Is that clear?
Yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Dismissed. Lance Corporal Dawson, sir.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Delta company's passing by.
Delta company's passing by.
I don't know what I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
All Marines are mighty bold.
All Marines are mighty bold.
Sound off.
1, 2,
Sound off.
3, 4.
Sound off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2.
3, 4.
Lieutenant Captain Weinberg.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Galloway.
Corporal Howard, ma'am. I'm just sorting to the windward side of the base.
Thank you.
The jeep's right over there, ma'am. We'll just hop on the ferry and be there in no time.
Thank you.
I'll have to ask both of you sirs to put on camouflage jackets.
Camouflage jackets?
Yes, sir. Regulations. We'll be riding pretty close to the fence. Cubans see an officer wearing white, they think it's someone they might want to take a shot at.
Good call, Sam.
We'll just hop on the ferry and be there in no time, alright?
Whoa, 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 whoa. We have to take a boat?
Yes, sir.
Whitaker didn't say anything about a boat.
Is that a problem, sir?
No. No problem. I'm just not crazy about boats, that's it.
Jesus Christ, Kathy, you're in the Navy for crying out loud. You want to get a hold of yourself?
Nobody likes her very much.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Lieutenant's Captain Weinberg from Corporal Dawson's defense team.
Thank you. Colonel Nathan Jessup, come on in, sit down.
Thank you, Colonel. This is Commander Galloway. She'll be observing and evaluating during today's meeting.
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you, Commander.
Sam Weinberg. He has no responsibilities here whatsoever.
Well, I've asked Captain Markinson and Lieutenant Kendrick to join us. Matthew's my second in command, and Jonathan's the XO for the windward side.
Lieutenant Captain, I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. I was a teenager, and he spoke in my high school.
Lionel Captain.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jiminy goddamn cricket! John, you're too young to know, but this man's father has made a whole lot of enemies down in your neck of the woods. Jefferson being Madison County School District. Folks down there said it was okay to say the Lord's Prayer in schools, and Lionel Caffey said no. No, it was not. I'll tell you something else. If Adlai Stevenson never been elected, he'd be sitting with the son of the Attorney General. How the hell is your dad?
Sir?
Still trying to overthrow the government?
Not any longer, sir.
Don't tell me he's passed away.
I'm afraid so, sir.
I'm sorry, son.
Thank you, sir. But it was 7 years ago.
Well, aren't I the asshole then?
Not at all, sir.
What can we do for you, Danny?
I'm afraid not much, sir. This is really more of a formality more than anything else. The JAG Corps insists that we interview all the relevant witnesses.
Jabber would be demanding in that way.
It shouldn't take longer than an hour, sir.
John, check your watch. Go.
Help me! Help!
Lucky
Help!
Willie. Could be worse. Could be somebody else.
Now, on the morning of the 6th, you were contacted by an NIS agent who informed you that Santiago had tipped him off of an illegal fence line shooting, correct?
Yes?
And Santiago was going to reveal the person's identity in exchange for a transfer order.
Yes.
Colonel, if I'm leaving out any details, you should feel free to speak up.
Thank you.
Now, it was at this time that you called Lieutenant Kendrick and Captain Markinson into your office, correct?
That's right.
And what happened?
We agreed that, for his own safety, the private ought to be transferred off the base.
Santiago was going to be transferred.
On the first available flight to the States. 6 o'clock the next morning. 6 hours too late. Have to turn it down?
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. Thank you for your time, Colonel.
Wait a minute, I've got some questions.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Colonel, at 3 a.m., Lieutenant Dr. Commander Stone was undetermined to cause death. At 5 a.m., it was poison. Do you know what might have persuaded him?
You'd have to ask Stone.
Did you meet with the doctor between 3 and
Joe,
5?
Of course I met with the doctor. One of my men was dead.
See, one of his men was dead. Let's go.
Lieutenant Kendrick, do you think Santiago was murdered?
I beg your pardon?
I'm just curious. You knew all these men. Was Santiago murdered?
Commander, I believe in God and in his son, Jesus Christ. And because I do, I can say this. Santiago is dead, and that's a tragedy. But he's dead because he had no code. He's dead because he had no honor. And God was watching.
How do you feel about that theory?
It sounds good. Let's go.
I don't like you people.
Oh, look at this, another Christmas card I won't be getting.
Colonel, do you know the term of the code red?
Commander!
I was under the impression that Lieutenant Cappy was leading this investigation.
It's an easy mistake to make.
I apologize to Colonel.
Do you know the term of code red?
I am familiar with the term, yes.
Colonel, this past February you received a cautionary warning from the commander of Chief Atlantic, pleading that the practice of code reds was not to be
And
condoned
I
by
submit to you, whoever wrote that memo has never served on the working end of a Soviet-made Cuban AK-47 assault rifle. However, the directive coming from a commander, I gave it its due attention. What's your point, Joanne?
She has no point. She often has no point. It's part of her charm. We're out of here. Let's go.
My point is what looks like a premeditated murder might have just been a botched up code reds. Do code reds still have it on the space?
Joe, the Colonel doesn't need to answer that.
Yes, he does.
No, he really doesn't.
Yes, he really does. Colonel!
No, I just realized something. She outranks you, Danny.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something, and listen up, because I mean this. There is nothing sexier on heaven and earth than a woman you have to salute to in the morning. Promote them all,
I
I
need an
say.
answer to my question, sir.
You'll get an answer, Joanne.
I need it now, sir.
Take caution in your tone, Commander. I'm a fair guy, but this heat has got me going absolutely crazy. You want to know about code reds? On the record, I'll tell you that I've discouraged the practice in accordance with the Commander's directive. But off the record, I'll tell you that they're an invaluable part of close infantry training. If they happen to go on without my knowledge, so be it. I run my unit how I run my unit. When I come down here and investigate me, roll the dice. See what happens. It's not like you're gonna flash a badge and make me nervous, Joanne. I eat my breakfast 80 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me.
Let's go.
Corporal's got the jeep outside. I'll take you back to the flight line.
Thank you. Colonel, before we leave, I'll just need a copy of that transfer order.
What's that?
Santiago's transfer order. You guys have paperwork and that sort of thing. I'll just need it for the file.
For the file.
Yeah.
Well, of course you can, Danny. I'm here to help you any way I can.
Thank you.
You do believe that, don't you? That I'll help you any way I can.
Sure.
Well, Corporal can bring you by personnel on your way to the flight line. You can have all the transfer orders you'd like.
Let's go.
But you have to ask me nicely.
I beg your pardon?
You have to ask me nicely. I don't mind the bullets and the bombs and the blood, Danny. I don't mind the heat, the stress, fear. I don't want money and I don't want medals. What I do want is for you to stay stand there in that faggoty white uniform, your Harvard mouth, extend me some goddamn courtesy. You have to ask me nicely.
Don't do it, Danny.
Colonel, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like a copy of the transfer order. Sir.
No problem, Danny. First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
It's Shakespeare, Colonel.
I hate casualties, Matthew. Marine smothers a grenade, saves his platoon. That Marine's doing his job. There are casualties, even in victory. Foundation of the base, the fabric of the unity, the spirit of the Corps, all these are things worth fighting for. There's no one who's made the decision to put on the uniform who doesn't know that. I hate casualties. Dustin and Downey, these kids are just smothering a grenade.
Just the same, sir. If I were you, I'd get myself a lawyer.
What are you gonna do when you get back?
What are you gonna do when you get back?
Take a shower, get the rack.
Take a shower and get the rack.
Oh no.
Not me.
Oh no.
Not us.
What are we gonna do when we get back?
Polish up, receive attack.
Officer on deck, 10-9.
Why did you care that Santiago was writing the letter?
Sir,
I want to know why you cared.
sir, it was a code red.
Colonel Jessup thinks you're full of shit. He doesn't think you were trying to train Santiago. He thinks you were trying to kill him.
That's not true,
What's
sir.
true? Why did you care?
Sir, it was a code red.
4,000 men on that base, and none of them went into Santiago's room that night. Why did you care?
I was his squad leader. It was my
He was
job.
screwing up every day for 8 months, and you never gave him a code red. Why did you care?
Santiago.
No, not you. Him. Why did you care?
Sir, Private Santiago broke the chain of command.
No, I don't want to hear about your chain of command. I don't want to hear about your loyalty, and I don't want to hear about your bozo code of honor. Why did you give him a code red?
Private Santiago broke the chain of command.
Did you hear what I just said?
Private Santiago needed to
Why did you do it?
We have a responsibility to
Bullshit! Why did you do it?
Because God was watching.
What did Kendrick say to you?
God is watching, Lance Corporal Dawson, and he helps those who help themselves. And so do I. Get your house in order, Lance Corporal. Unit, corps, God, country. And duty to self simply isn't part of the equation. Get your house in order so that these men can believe in you again. Get your house in order so that the Lord our God can look down and say, there's a United States Marine, and I will stand at his side. Get your house in order. Don't let anyone ever tell you we're not at war.
You were given an order.
Yes, sir.
Kendrick ordered the code red.
Yes, sir.
He told every other man at that meeting not to touch Santiago. And then he told you to. You've got to talk to the prosecutor. You mind telling me why the hell you never mentioned this before?
We were never asked about it, sir.
Cutie pie shit is not going to win you a place in my heart, Corporal. I get paid no matter how much time you spend in jail.
I know you do, sir.
Screw you, Harold. I'll be back later.
What did they say?
I want you to stop following me. I want you off my back, and I want you off this case.
Markinson went UA.
What?
Unauthorized absence.
I know what it means. When?
Tonight after we left.
I'll talk to him in the morning.
I already tried to contact him. Nobody can contact him.
You already tried to contact him. Do you not understand the meaning of the term interfering with a government investigation?
Yes, I do, but I'm not, because I'm not a Downey's new attorney.
What are you talking about?
Aunt Ginny. She feels like she knew me forever. She said she'd feel more comfortable if I were involved. Don't worry. I won't cause a motion for your separation of the council. I defer your skills as a litigator. So, what did they say?
You frighten me. You know, I'm in a situation in which the stakes couldn't be higher. I'm not going to take time out to give tutorials in criminal procedure to an internal affairs schoolgirl who doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Just melt when you sugar talk to me, Danny. Now what did they say?
Kendrick gave them the order.
What do we do now?
Find Jack Ross.
You talked to the guys in the platoon?
I don't have to.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. They all say the same
They
thing.
weren't there, Jack. Kendrick dismissed them. Did you talk to
I
Kendrick?
told you before I went down there, I talked to Kendrick.
He talked to Kendrick.
Yeah.
You talked to Kendrick.
I didn't think anything
You
about
didn't
it.
think
How does
you
it
had a suspicion you
Look,
told
it's
us
not
to-
important
It was
now.
just Who is this?
Commander Galloway is Loudon Downey's new attorney. She's very pleased to meet you.
Ebenezer Galloway?
Look.
You want to charge me with something,
How are we
ma'am?
getting information? 12, 24.
You want to
Hey! Everybody! In the interest of justice, take a deep knee bend.
Joe, Lieutenant Ross didn't know about the order. Because if he did, and he hadn't told us, well, he knows he'd be violating about 14 articles of the Code of Ethics. I mean, as it is, he's got enough on his plate. God forbid our clients decide to plead not guilty on the basis that these things happen every day.
Kendrick specifically told
And
me
then
that.
he specifically told Dawson and Downey to shave his head.
That's not what Kendrick said.
Kendrick is mean, Kendrick is crazy, and oh, Kendrick is lying!
You have proof?
I have the defense.
And I have 23 men who aren't accused of murder, and a Marine lieutenant with 4 letters of commendation.
Why did Markinson go you
We'll
think?
never know.
You don't think I can subpoena Markinson?
You can try, but you won't find him.
What are you talking about, Jack?
You know what Markinson did for the first 17 of his 21 years in the Corps? CIC, Danny. Counterintelligence. Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. Colonel Jessup Starr's on the rise, and they're giving me a lot of room to spare him embarrassment.
How much room?
Can knock it all down to assault and bad conduct. 2 years? They're home in 6 months.
Danny, he's got a PR problem. He can't afford to go to court.
Was he lucky for you because you're turning green at the thought of it? Yeah, taking this to court would be bad for me. It'd be bad for the Corps, and I'd be held responsible for how the officers are treated as witnesses. But you go to court, and the boys go away 40 years.
Jack, come on!
Are we clear on that? We have to be clear on that. Once we go outside this room, I have to put the hammer down. They'll be charged with a boatload. Murder, conspiracy, conduct unbecoming, and in a courtroom, you lose this case. Please, I'm your friend, and I'm telling you. I think Kendrick's lying, and I don't think your guys belong in jail. But I don't get to make that decision. I represent the people without passion. You see, and the people have a case. Tom will plead to assault. All in all, it's not a bad week's work for the defense. That's the end of this negotiation. 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'll see you at the arraignment.
Okay, here's the deal. I think you guys are going to be happy. The prosecutor says that if you plead guilty to assault and bad conduct, he'll recommend 2 years with probation after 6 months. Wow, Kathy, you're such a great lawyer. How can we ever thank you? Well, I'm just doing my job, fellas. Did you hear what I said? You're going home in 6 months. Fellas?
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir.
Do what?
Make a deal, sir?
What are you talking about? Did she put you up to this?
No!
We have a code, sir.
Zippity doo dah burger code. No, you plead not guilty, and you're going to jail for the rest of your lives. Do what I'm telling you to do, and you're home in 6 months.
Permission.
Bam!
Then what do we do then, sir?
When?
After 6 months?
We get a dishonorable discharge.
Probably.
Then what do we do then, sir? We didn't join the Marines because we felt like it. We joined because we wanted to live by a code, and we found it in the Corps. And now, you're asking us to sign a piece of paper that says we have no honor. You're asking us to say we're not Marines. If the court finds what we did wrong, I'll accept whatever punishment they give. But I won't say I'm guilty, sir. I won't dishonor myself, my unit, or the Corps so that I can go home in 6 months. Sir.
You guys are a freak show. I'm not going to talk to Dawson anymore. He doesn't like me, and he's just going to go to jail just to spite me. I want him to get a new lawyer.
All right. At the arraignment tomorrow, the judge will ask for a plea. Motion to move to an 802 conference, and you can explain the situation.
That's that.
Yeah. One thing though. When you ask for the division for the new attorney, be sure and ask nicely.
What do you want from me?
I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up and make an argument.
An argument that didn't work for Callie at My Line. An argument that didn't work for the Nazis at Nuremberg.
Sam, come on. Do you really think it's the same thing as 2 teenage Marines executing a routine order that they never believed would result in harm? I mean, these guys aren't the Nazis.
Don't look now, Danny, but you're arguing a position.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, we'll get them a new attorney.
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer?
Look.
Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Hey! Dawson and Downey will have their day in court. They'll have it with another attorney.
Another lawyer won't be good enough.
Why is that?
Because you know how to win. But I know how to fight. But you know how to win.
I know the law.
You know nothing about the law, Daniel. You're a used car salesman. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank. Live with that.
Sam? Why does a lieutenant junior grade with 6 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get singled out to handle a murder case? Would it be to make sure he never sees the inside of a courtroom?
Up in the morning with the rising sun.
Up in the morning with the rising sun.
Run all day till the day is done.
And run all day till the day is done.
Left, right.
1, 2,
Go right.
3, 4.
Left, right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2.
3, 4.
We got you guys in separate cells now, huh?
Yes, sir.
You want to hear a joke? Did you hear about the Japanese pilot who hated jazz? He bombed Pearl Bailey. Yeah, I was 95% sure you weren't going to laugh at that. You want a drink?
No, thank you, sir.
I don't know how else to say this. I think you got it. Let me make the deal for you here. It's nothing. It's 6 months. It's a hockey season for crying out loud. I mean, in the end, what difference does it make?
You think we were right?
It doesn't matter what I think.
Do you think we were
Right
right?
isn't a matter of right and
Yes,
wrong.
it is. It always is. That's something people like you always say, but it is. Now, do you think we were...
What do you need, people
Do
like me?
you think we were...
I don't think you'd lose.
You're such a coward. I can't believe they let you wear a uniform.
You're going to Leavenworth. There's nothing I can do about it. I could have gotten you 6 months. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. And what happened to saluting an officer as he leaves the room?
All right.
All right. Where are we?
Docket number 411275, VR5. United States versus Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson and Private First Class Loudon Downey. Defendants are charged with murder in the second degree, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct unbecoming a United States Marine.
Does the defense wish to enter a plea? Yeah. They're not guilty. Enter a plea of not guilty for the defense. We'll adjourn until 10:00 1 week from today, at which point we'll reconvene as a general court-martial. I'll see counsel in my chambers now.
10-HUD!
Hey, boys. Yes, sir. Don't say yes, sir, like I just asked if you clean the latrines. You're not in the Marines anymore. You're in jail. Get some rest and don't talk to anyone but the three of us. Dismissed.
Dang,
They were following an order.
an illegal order.
You think these guys know what an illegal
Any
order is?
person would know. You
You're
don't.
not permitted to question orders.
Period. What's the secret? What are the magic words? I give orders every day and nobody follows them.
We work with our softball games and marching bands. They work where you have to wear camouflage or you might get shot. What are you looking at?
What made you change your mind?
Not you.
The law says you can't do what they did. It's as simple
It's
as
not as simple as that. We're defense counsel. We position them. What did they teach you?
to tell the truth, not position.
Well, they taught you wrong.
We're wasting time here.
Hey, kid, I'll decide how time is spent and how it's wasted. You got a problem with that? Well, Downey can stand a separate trial.
You're still an ass, you know?
All right. We work at my place every day, 7 o'clock. Joe, before you come over, bring over a carton of legal pads, a half a dozen boxes of red pens, and a half a dozen boxes of blue pens. Sam, I'm going to need some card tables and some desk lamps. I'm going to get started on a medical profile, and I'm going to need one of you to get a pro-con report on Santiago, Dawson, and Downey.
I'll get them.
Sam, work with Dawson every day. Razor sharp, order taker, step for Marines.
Okay.
Joe, work with Downey, 2 hours a day. Get him to stop squinting when he speaks. He looks shitty. One more, every day. Razor sharp, order taker, step for Marines.
Okay.
Joe, work with Downey, 2 hours a day. Get him to stop squinting when he speaks. He looks shitty. One more thing. All I got at my place is Sugar Smacks and Yoo-Hoo. So bring whatever the hell you want. Don't wear that perfume. It wrecks my concentration.
Really?
I was talking to Sam. So, this is what a courtroom looks like.
Excuse me, sir. Commander Stone to see you, sir.
Thank you, Tom.
Walter, any news?
Not yet, sir. We've still got a few more tests to run. It'll take a while. With that, I'm not certain we'll be able to make a determination.
I see.
Look, Colonel, it would help us to know what happened. It was a code red. The men were shaving his head. The boy didn't die of a haircut. Died because that's what the Lord saw.
Mary, Mother of God, Johnny, give the Lord a rest, will you please?
Yes, sir.
You look like hell. Why don't you go get yourself some rest?
Yes, sir.
Dismissed. Now, Walter, I don't want to pin you down to anything. I know you still have tests to run. Tell me this. What are the possibilities at this point?
Could have been any number of things. They used a gag. Maybe it got lodged in his throat. Maybe there was poison in the rat. Maybe they just scared him so bad he had a heart attack. Like I said, we may never really know.
A heart attack?
He has a slight medical history which may suggest the slight possibility of a coronary disorder. But look, Nathan, what the hell did
Why wasn't this coronary disorder detected before?
Well, I said the possibility.
That's not an answer.
Symptoms were most likely pointing to 100 far less debilitating conditions. There were no red flags on my part.
Is that what you're going to say to a board of inquiry?
Well, I don't understand.
Doctor, everything 3 months you give these men a thorough examination. Every 3 months you put Santiago back on that wall with a clean bill of health. Am I wrong?
That's correct, but I don't see how that's wrong.
Wrong! What can happen to a doctor's career because of something like this? You know what I think happened? I don't think it was a code red. I think Dawson and Downey got into their heads to kill Santiago. And I think, like you said, there had to be poison on that red.
It's a possibility.
Walter! How long have we known each other?
4 years.
Close on 5 now. One of the first things I did when I got this command was request your assignment to the hospital. One of the first things I do when I leave is tell those boys in that situation room, all Walter with the big stones coming with me. I put my trust in you, Walter. I put the lives of my Marines in your hands. That's why I think it had to be poison. So you go back there and you run those tests. After all, you're the doctor. You're a damn good doctor. Whatever you say, I'll live with it. There's going to be an investigation into the cause of death. I'll do whatever I can to help you, Walter.
Thank you, sir.
Dismissed. Tom!
Sir.
Find me Markinson.
Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir.
Harold, why do you do that? I'm representing you in a murder trial. Do you honestly think I don't know their name? I thought we recruited that ship the night I struck an enlisted man without provocation. Sure didn't come, but notice you didn't report to me. Listen, I wanted to come by and just give you some words of, encouragement. Sit up straight. I know I'm talking to a brick, but there's 2 things I want you to consider. The first is that Lieutenant Weinberg, Commander Galloway, and I are doing everything we possibly can for you. The second is that we're going to get creamed. That's not very confidence-inspiring, I know.
That's all right. After all, it isn't up to me anymore, is it? You have to accept the consequences too.
You see, they're not my consequences to accept.
That almost makes it a little bit worse, doesn't it, sir?
Harold, we're going to lose, and we're going to lose huge. Sit up straight. Last chance.
Lieutenant Hood!
Too late.
All those having business with this General Court-Martial, stand forward and you shall be heard. Colonel Julius Alexander Randolph is presiding. God save the United States of America.
Now, before the judge advocate calls his first witness, I'd like to get some language clear. Without objection, the sworn statement from the defendants have been read to the members and entered into the court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection.
Now, without objection, the sworn statements to the 21 members of the Right Security Company have been read to the members and entered into the court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection.
Everyone prepared to present this case?
We are, sir. Government calls Commander Stone.
Call Commander Stone.
Commander Stone, for the record, we need to take your full name, rank, and current ability, please.
Commander Walter Stone. My build is Internal Medicine Specialist, Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital.
Thank you, Doctor. You can have a seat. Dr. Stone, how long have you been attached to the hospital at Gitmo?
From October 1st of last year to the present.
And on 7 July of this year, did you have the chance to treat Private First Class William Santiago?
I did.
Would you describe that to me?
PFC Santiago was brought to the emergency room on the morning of the 7th at 0010. He was coughing up blood and suffering from a lack of consciousness. We lost him at 0035.
And what were your observations upon examination?
Most obvious things were the rope marks around his wrist and the fact that his head was partially shaved. Later we figured out that his lungs were filled with fluid bilaterally due to profound acidosis. That's to say, a buildup of acid in the lungs.
And what causes acid to build up in one's lungs?
When the cells of the body begin burning sugar instead of oxygen, lactic acid is produced.
And from the moment lactic acid is produced to the moment the lungs are filled with fluid, approximately how long does that take?
Ordinarily about an hour.
Doctor, you say ordinarily. Was this an unusual case?
Yes, it was.
How so?
In Santiago's case, the reaction took less than 15 minutes.
While the reaction sped up in Santiago's case.
You would have had to ingest the poison somehow.
Your Honor, we object at this point. The witness can only speculate as to what
Commander
caused
Stone
the
is an
reaction.
expert medical witness. In this courtroom, his opinion is not considered
Commander
speculation.
Stone is an internist, not a criminologist. And the medical facts here are ultimately inconclusive.
Which I'm confident you'll make to the jury during your cross-examination. So I hope you don't mind if the doctor's opinion is admitted now.
Not at all, sir. Objection withdrawn.
Dr. Stone, did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
Are you aware that the lab report and the coroner's report showed no traces of poison?
Yes, I am.
Then how do you justify
There are literally dozens of toxins which are virtually undetectable. The nature of the acidosis is the most compelling factor in this issue.
Thank you, Doctor.
Doctor, other than the
Don't call him doctor.
Right, that's good. Command, other than the rope marks on Santiago's wrists, were there any other signs of external damage?
No,
Scrapes?
no,
Any cuts?
no,
Bruises, broken bones, fat lips?
no.
Commander, was there any sign of violence whatsoever?
You mean aside from the dead body?
Damn it, I'm walking that every time.
Your witness?
Commander, my clients say they didn't use poison. So what I'd like to do is just take a few moments to see if there couldn't possibly be another explanation.
Lieutenant, there simply is no other explanation. A layman
A
will...
layman? Pardon me, Commander, but you're talking to a man who got a C+ in biochem. Twice. Now, if I understand correctly, the fact that this process took 15 minutes and not 60 is what led to your conclusion that Santiago was poisoned.
That's correct, yes.
60 minutes being about the average?
Just about,
I
yes.
think some people it might be more. I think some people it might be less.
A little bit more, a little bit less.
Commander, is it possible for someone to have an affliction, a condition which would render them less capable of withstanding lactic acid? Commander, is it possible?
If the person had a cerebral disorder, it is possible, yes.
What about a coronary disorder? Sorry, that condition. I think it's called a coronary condition.
Lieutenant, we are talking about an 18-year-old Marine in extraordinary physical condition.
The Marine Corps required him to maintain a certain standard of physical fitness. Am I right?
That's correct,
In
yes.
fact, you give them thorough physical examinations every 3 months, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Commander, is it possible for a young Marine to have a coronary condition where the initial warning signals were so mild that they could have been missed during a routine medical examination? Commander,
Look, you have to understand, in medicine, though we'd like to be exact.
oh, that's the beauty about being a lawyer for the defense, Commander. I don't have to worry about exact. I just have to worry about, is it possible? Is it possible?
There would have been symptoms.
What kind of symptoms?
There are 100 different symptoms.
Chest pains,
Yes.
shortness of breath,
Certainly.
fatigue.
I'm sure.
Commander, is this your signature?
Yes, yes, it is.
This is an order for Santiago to be placed on temporary restricted duty. Now, would you please read your handwritten remarks at the bottom of the page?
Initial testing negative. Patient complains of chest pain, shortness of breath, and fatigue. Restricted from running distances over 5 miles per 1 week.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Initial testing negative. What it says there?
Yes.
What kind of tests were these?
All manner.
Cardiovascular tests?
Yes.
Cardiopulmonary tests?
Certainly.
Physical strength, endurance. In fact, in all, how many separate cardio tests were administered to Santiago?
16.
And did any of those 16 tests indicate that there might be something wrong with his heart?
Not a single one.
Dr. Stone, the medical equipment you have in the CCU of the Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital, would you describe it as modern or outdated?
It is very
In fact, it's the same medical equipment used in the CCU of the Bethesda Naval Hospital here in Maryland, am I correct?
I believe so,
The
yes.
same Bethesda Naval Hospital, where the President of the United States goes for his medical checkups.
That's right.
Dr. Stone, you've held license in practice medicine for 20 years. You are board certified in internal medicine, and you are chief of internal medicine at a hospital that serves over 7,000 people. In your opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Please the court, we renew our objection to Commander Stone's testimony and ask that it be stricken from the record. And we further instruct the jury to lend no weight to the witness's testimony.
The objection's overruled, Commander.
Your Honor, the defense strenuously objects and requests a
The
conference.
objection of the defense has been heard and overruled. The witness is an expert, and the court will hear his opinion.
Exception.
Noted.
Dr. Stone, in your expert medical opinion, did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
No doubt about it.
Thank you, sir. I have no more questions.
You can step down.
Please, the court. While the government reserves the right to call rebuttal witnesses, should the need arise, we rest our case.
All right, we'll stand in recess till Monday morning, at which time the defense can call the first witness.
Dead.
I strenuously object. Is that how this works? Objection. Overruled. No. I strenuously object. Oh! Well, if you strenuously object, let me take a moment to reconsider.
I got it on the record.
You also got it on the jury's head. We're afraid of the doctor. You object once so they can hear you say he's not a criminologist. Any more than that, and the great cross we did just looks like a bunch of fancy lawyer tricks. And that is exactly what Ross was hoping for. It's the difference between...
Sam!
Christ, even the judge saying Stone is an expert!
Look, she made a mistake. Let's not relive it.
I'm sorry, I'm in a pissy mood. I'm gonna call my wife. I'll see you tomorrow.
Why do you hate them so much?
Because they beat up on a weak one. And that's all they did. The rest is just smoke-filled coffee and crap. They tortured and tormented a weaker kid. It wasn't just that night. Read the letters. It was 8 months. They beat him up and they killed him. And why? Because he couldn't run very fast.
You think on the argument we're going to go Monday is going to be used now?
I think the argument we're going to make on Monday is morally reprehensible.
Since when do lawyers get to decide what's morally reprehensible?
Since when do Marines get to decide which laws they're going to obey?
All right, that's enough. Joe, Sam has been busting his ass for these two. He doesn't have to like them. And Sam, the only two Marines we are worried about are Dawson and Downey. Now, everybody take the night off.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, we had a pretty good day today. Gotta hand it to Ross. He's very good.
He asked 7 questions on his redirect and sent the jury to bet Beams and Stone is the president's doctor. He put Stone in his pocket with 7 questions. I think he's just warming up.
What was depressing?
How much damage did I cause?
Doesn't matter.
Are you saying it doesn't matter because it's water under the bridge? Or are you saying it doesn't matter because it caused that much
I'm
damage?
saying it doesn't matter because we don't know. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Good. That's a good attitude.
What made you become a lawyer for the Navy?
We don't let me drive the boats, fly with planes.
You were like 7 of the strangest women I've ever met.
I know. I'm the girl like you guys hated in the 6th grade.
Joe, you're the girl the guys like me tortured in the 6th grade. I'll see you tomorrow. Why do you like them so much?
At this point, there's probably no one else in the world that Dawson dislikes more than you. But if you ever got fired with a bullet, Dawson would stand in front of it without thinking twice.
Don't worry about the doctor. This trial starts Monday.
so. I've been getting the runaround. Jimmy Smith, Baltimore Sun-Times.
Good sports section.
The best.
So, how can I help you?
I'm doing a two-part feature on air traffic at different bases around the world. But I'm focusing mainly on Naval Air Station, Guantanamo Bay, and Andrews Air Force Base.
Sounds interesting.
Do you keep on record a file of incoming and outgoing flights?
Sure. Anything that isn't classified, we have copies of the Chief's Towers logs.
Is that right?
Yeah, incoming, outgoing flights, passenger manifests. We only have the copies, though. The originals stay at base.
No problem. I need the Tower Chief's logs for the evening of July 6th and morning of July 7th.
Sure. The only thing is, I'm going to need a free requisition form and a 710 signed by someone over the rank of lieutenant.
Hell.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to need a free requisition form and a 710 signed by someone over the rank of lieutenant.
I understand. It's the duty officer here.
No, he's at a department meeting.
Is there anyone else I can speak to?
No, everyone else is at lunch, so I'm the only one here.
Then let's go get some logbooks.
I wanna be a Recon Ranger!
I wanna be a Recon Ranger!
I wanna live a life of danger!
I wanna live a life of danger!
Stand tall!
Do it again!
Sing it loud!
3, 4.
That's right!
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2.
Stand proud!
10 on!
Lieutenant Cappy, you prepared to call your first witness?
Yes, sir. Defense calls Corporal Howard.
Corporal Howard, have you been previously sworn?
Yes, sir.
For the record, would you state your full name, rank, and current bill, please?
Corporal Jeffrey Owen Howard, Marine Barracks Woodward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you, Corporal. You can have a seat. Corporal, are you a little nervous?
No, sir.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, sir, I'm fine. Thank you, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you'd like a glass of water or you'd like to take a break, you just... Judge, the witness has twice said he doesn't want any water. Can we please get a move on?
Lieutenant?
Yes, sir. Corporal, you've been called into court to give the jury a better understanding of the function of the Marines in the RSC Windward.
Yes, sir. It's very simple. The base is divided into 2 halves. The divided
Corporal.
Guantanamo. Sir?
You're going to have to wait until I ask you a question.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Now, would you please describe the layout of the base for us?
Yes, sir. It's very simple. The base is divided into 2 halves. The divided being Guantanamo Bay. Each half of the base has its own rifle security guard. On the left is RSC Leeward, see, and on the right is Windward.
And what is the function of the Marines in the RSC Windward?
To provide ground support in the event of enemy engagement. It also provide day-to-day security on the fence line.
And how long do the Marines usually spend on the fence line?
We're on the fence for 1 week, then off for 1 week.
And when you're on the watch, how long is each watch on the fence?
6 hours on, 6 hours off.
6 hours on, 6 hours off. 1 week on, 1 week off. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And other sentries aren't?
Yes, sir.
With?
Sir?
What are the sentries armed with?
Sir?
Corporal, what are you armed with?
Weapons.
A pea shooter? A pocket knife? A slingshot?
Oh, no shit, sir. A pea shooter, a pocket knife, that was false.
Permission to lead the witness.
By leash.
You're armed with M16 rifles and 60 rounds of ammunition. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Corporal, what is the code red?
Sir, you see, code red is a disciplinary action brought against a Marine who's fallen out of line.
And name some ways a Marine could fall out of line.
Deeply for platoon or company meetings, keeping his barracks in disorder, letting his appearance become substandard, behaving in a manner unbecoming of a Marine, falling back on the line.
Have you ever received the code red?
Yes, sir.
Please describe it for us.
We were doing a field exercise one day, and we were doing a 7-man assault drill, and I dropped my weapons. It's just that it was over 100 degrees and my weapon just slipped, sir.
And what happened?
That night in my barracks, the guys from my squad threw a blanket over me and took turns punching me in the arm for 5 minutes. And then they poured blood on my hands.
Okay.
It worked too, because I had to drop my weapons.
Object! We're going to have to strike that, Corporal, but nice try. Now, what happened after they punched you in your arm and poured glue on your hands?
They took me to the post 44 and bought me a beer.
They gave you a code red. Then they bought you a beer.
Yes, sir.
Corporal, were you acquainted with Private Santiago?
Yes, sir.
You came in contact with him every day.
Yes, sir.
Your squads run the fence together.
Yes, sir.
You share barracks, huh?
Yes, sir.
Was Private Santiago ever late for a platoon meeting?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever leave his barracks in disorder?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever let his appearance become substandard?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever fall back on a run?
All the time, sir.
And did he ever, in your estimation, behave in a manner unbecoming of a Marine?
Absolutely, sir.
And did he ever, before the night of July 6th, receive a code red?
No, sir.
No. Corporal, you received a code red because your palms were showing. Why was Private Santiago this burden and embarrassment to his unit? Why didn't he ever receive a code red?
Corporal Dawson won't allow it, sir.
Corporal Dawson wouldn't allow it.
Corporal Dawson was Santiago's squad leader. He wouldn't let any of the guys go near him. The guys talked tough about Santiago. When it came down to it, they wouldn't touch him. They were too afraid of Corporal Dawson.
Objection! The witness is
I'll rephrase. Corporal, did you ever want to give Private Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Corporal Dawson kicked my butt, sir.
Good enough. Lieutenant Ross is going to ask you some questions now.
Corporal, I hold here the Marine Guide and General Information Handbook for new recruits. Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, sir.
Have you read it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Would you please turn to the section in that book that deals with code reds?
Sir?
Just turn to the section in that book that discusses code reds.
Code reds aren't this book, sir.
Ah, I see. Let's turn then to the Marine Infantry Handbook. Would you find the section in this book, please?
Sir, you see, code red is a Marine term that we all use down the gate.
Ah, we're in luck then. The Marine Corps Guide for Sentry Duty, now based Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I assume we'll find the term and its definition in this book. Am I correct, Corporal?
No, sir.
No. Corporal Howard, I'm a Marine. Is there no book, no manual or pamphlet, no set of rules or regulations that tells me that as a Marine, one of my duties is to perform code reds?
No, sir. No book, sir.
No further questions.
Corporal, would you please turn to the page in that book that discusses the enlisted men to mess hall?
Lieutenant Caffey, that's not in the book, sir.
No. You mean to tell me that you've been stationed in Gitmo for 13 months, and in all that time you've never had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day.
Corporal, I'm confused. How did you know where the enlisted men's mess hall was? It's not in this book.
I guess I just followed the crowd at shout time, sir.
No further questions.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a 5-minute break. Don't go too far now.
10 hut! As you were.
I talk to you alone for a minute. That was nice work. So redirect on Howard.
Thank you.
I want this to end now. I don't want Kendrick to have to take his name.
Yeah, he's a real day at the beach,
I was
isn't
up
he?
half the night with him. He's bright, articulate, nothing in the closet, and you're gonna make a meal out of him.
What are you getting at, Jack?
That's what I mean to ask you. You're putting on an entertaining defense that's going nowhere. Everyone expects you to do whatever you have to. But you start looking like you're enjoying it, you're gonna find yourself practicing law on a weather ship off Bayonne, New Jersey.
We've got 2 minutes until the Reverend Peter. What can I do for you?
Don't put him on the stand. I have to protect these guys, and I can't allow them to look like fools. Stop now. 3 years apiece.
4 weeks ago we were talking
4
about
weeks
6
ago, our
months.
clients picked on 6 months. 4 weeks ago, your clients were a daily feature in the Washington Post, and neither were you. Look, you can tap dance all you want. At the end of the day, all you got is a testimony of too many cases of murder.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
You got bullied into this room by Dawson, by Galloway. Shit, I practically dare you. You got bullied into this room, even though not for 1 second you thought you might stand a chance. You got bullied into this room by the memory of a lawyer who might
have stood a chance.
You're a lousy softball player, Jack!
Ken Hunt!
You guys going down and I can't stop anymore.
Defense calls Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick.
Call Lieutenant Kendrick.
Lieutenant Kendrick, you've been previously sworn. Yes, I have. For the record, would you state your full name, rank, and current bullet, please?
Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick, Executive Officer, Rifle Security Company Windward, Marine Barracks, Guantanamo Bay.
Thank you. You can have a seat.
Lieutenant Kendrick, in your opinion, was Private Santiago a good Marine?
I'd say he was about average.
Lieutenant, I have 3 proficiency in con reports that you co-signed for Santiago. And in all 3 pro-con reports, you gave him a rating of below average.
Yes, he was below average. I didn't see the need in trampling on a man's grade.
We appreciate that, Lieutenant, but you're under oath now. And I think as unpleasant as it may be, we don't just soon hear the truth.
I'm aware of my oath.
Lieutenant, these are the last 3 pro-con reports that you co-signed for Lance Corporal Dawson. Now, on the first 2, you gave him a rating of exceptional. But on this, the most recent report, dated June 9th of this year, you gave him a rating of below average. It's this last report I'd like to discuss with you.
That's fine.
Dawson's ranking after infantry training school was perfect. And records show that since then, over half of his class has made full corporal, while Dawson himself remains only a lance corporal. Lieutenant, was Lance Corporal Dawson's promotion held up because of this last report?
I'm sure it was.
Do you recall why he was given such a poor grade?
I'm sure I don't. I have many men in my charge, Lieutenant. I write many reports.
Lieutenant, do you recall an incident involving a PFC Curtis Barnes who would be caught stealing liquor from the officers' club?
Yes.
And did you report Private Barnes to the proper authorities?
I have 2 books on my bedside, Lieutenant. The Marine Code of Conduct and the King James Bible. The only proper authorities I'm aware of are my commanding officer, Colonel Nathan R. Jessup, and the Lord our God.
Lieutenant, at your request, I can have the record reflect your lack of acknowledgement of this court as proper authority.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Watch yourself, Counselor.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant, did you report Private Barnes to your superiors?
I remember thinking very highly of Private Barnes and not wanting to see his record tarnished by a formal charge.
Instead, you preferred to handle this within the unit, correct?
Yes, I did.
Lieutenant, do you know what a code red is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever ordered a code red?
No, I have not.
Lieutenant, did you have Corporal Dawson and 2 other Marines make sure that Private Barnes received no food or drink except for water for a period of 5 days?
That's a distortion of the truth. Private Barnes was placed on barracks restriction. He was given water and vitamin supplements, and I assure you at no time was his health in danger.
Will the court care to remind the jury that Lieutenant Kendrick is not a medical expert, and therefore doesn't have the first clue as to whether or not Private Barnes' health was in danger?
The membership caution.
Lieutenant Kendrick, would this form of discipline be considered a code red?
Not necessarily.
If I called the other 379 members of the RSC, would they consider it a code red?
Objection. The witness can't possibly testify as to what 379 Marines would say. We object this entire line of questioning as argumentative and irrelevant grabbing of the witness.
Lieutenant Gaffney, I'd like to remind you that you're now questioning a Marine officer with an impeccable service record.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm overruling your objection.
Your Honor, I'm withdrawing your question. Lieutenant Kendrick, did Corporal Dawson receive a poor grade on this last report because you learned he'd be sneaking food to Curtis Barnes?
Object! Not so fast, Lieutenant.
Corporal Dawson received a rating of below average because he committed a crime.
What crime did he commit? Lieutenant Kendrick. Dawson brought a hungry guy some food. What crime did he commit?
He disobeyed an order.
Because he did. Because he exercised his own set of values, he was punished, correct?
Corporal Dawson disobeyed an order.
Yeah, but it wasn't a real order, was it? I mean, he wasn't being asked to secure a hill or radio down for battalion aid. I mean, surely someone of Dawson's obvious training and skill should be able to determine on his own which orders he's going to follow and which orders might say be illegal. Lieutenant Kendrick, can Dawson determine on his own which orders he's going to follow?
No, he cannot.
A lesson he learned after the Curtis Barnes incident. Am I right, Lieutenant?
I would think so.
You know so, don't you, Lieutenant?
Object! Sustained.
Lieutenant Kendrick, one final question. If you would order Corporal Dawson to give Private Santiago
He's a
code red,
Lieutenant Kendrick, did you ever order the defendants to give Willie Santiago code red? Lieutenant Kendrick, did you?
No! No, I did not.
This was sitting outside your door. It's marked urgently personal.
What is it?
My X-ray vision's failing me today.
Mr. Sunshine.
Knock it off. Anyone want from anything from the kitchen?
You go, please.
Okay. Sam,
Yeah, I'll take a yoo-hoo.
you want a yoo-hoo?
Yep,
Okay.
I want a yoo-hoo. What's the big deal? He asked for a yoo-hoo. It's like he's asking for the correct time. I asked for a yoo-hoo and all of a sudden the world's coming to an end?
What's in the envelope? Danny.
It's from Markinson.
To Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel A. Caffey, United States Naval Reserve, Judge Advocate General's Corps. Lieutenant Caffey, I know the following to be true. Jessup had no intention of transferring Private Santiago off the base. The transfer order you secured was written the morning of your arrival, 6 days after Private Santiago's death. Jessup's claim that the 0600 was the first available transportation off the base was a lie. There's a flight that left for Andrews Air Force Base 7 hours earlier. I've enclosed the 2 Tower Chief's logs. You'll notice that while Jessup has removed the departure entry from the Guantanamo logs, the arrival entry is in the Andrews logs. Lieutenant Caffey, don't waste valuable time and resources trying to find me. Save these men. Always, Captain Matthew Andrew Markinson, United States Marine Corps.
Son of a bitch.
I don't believe this.
Son of a bitch!
I'll call DOD and find out if they're missing anything.
Go home. I've got to tell Loudon.
Forget about Downey. Let's pull any string we can. FBI, CIA. Hell, let's hire our own guys if we have to. We have to have Markinson. We have to find him.
Why? We have the logbooks and the letter.
The letter's typed, there's no signatures, and logbooks are photocopies.
They're not admissible?
A Navy orderly was held up at gunpoint by a man posing as a reporter from the Baltimore Sun-Times.
Is Downey ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
Is he solid?
Absolutely.
Do you think we can find Markinson?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
We don't have a discovery operation. Keep this from Ross for 24 hours.
And hut!
Lieutenant Caffey, you prepared to call your witness?
Yes, sir. Defense calls PFC Loudon Downey.
Private Downey, would you raise your right hand and place your left on the Bible? Do you swear that the testimony you will give today in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please sit.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, I was William's company commander. I knew your son vaguely, which is to say I knew his name. In a matter of time, the trial of the 2 men charged with your son's death will be concluded. And 7 men and 2 women, whom you've never met, will try to offer you an explanation as to why William is dead. Most likely, they'll try to offer you many explanations. For my part, I've done what I can to bring the truth to light. And I've done it, not in the uniform in which I have served for 21 years, but in costume, in shadow. I was a defender! And at this moment, I'm being investigated by the Naval Investigative Service, the Central Intelligence Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the military police. And I can't do this anymore. Because the truth is this. Your son is dead for only one reason. I wasn't strong enough to stop him. Always, Captain Matthew Andrew Markins, United States Marine Corps.
And that's when we were taken into custody by the military police and brought into the break.
Private, this is my last question for you. Why did you give Private Santiago a code red on the night of July 6th?
The code red was ordered by Executive Officer Lieutenant Kendrick.
Thank you very much. Your witness.
Private Downey, the day of 6 July, the switch log has you down to post 39 until 1600. Is that correct?
I'm sure it is, sir. They keep that logbook pretty good.
About how far is it from post 39 to the Woodward Barracks?
It's a ways, sir. It's a hike.
About how far by jeep?
About 10, 15 minutes, sir.
Have you ever had to walk it?
Yes, sir. That day, Friday, I was DDL. Me and the pickup private. That's what we call the guy who drops us at our post and picks us up. Also because you can get girls in New York City. Pickup private got a flat, right at the 39. Pulled up and blam, a blow with no spare. Two of us had to double time it back to the barracks.
And if it's 10 or 15 minutes by jeep, I'm assuming it must be a good hour or so by foot, am I correct?
Pickup and I did in 45 flat, sir.
Not bad. When you say your assault on Santiago was the result of an order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave at a platoon meeting at 1620, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But you just said you didn't make it back to the barracks until 1645.
Sir?
If you didn't make it back to the barracks until 1645, how could you possibly be at a platoon meeting at 1620?
You see, sir, there was a flat
Did
tire.
Lieutenant Kendrick ever tell you to give Santiago a code red?
Please, the Corps, I'd like to request a reason.
Who told you to give Santiago a code red?
Private Downey has...
Private Downey has been read his rights, Commander!
The question will be repeated.
Who told you to give Santiago a code red?
Your Honor!
Sit down. Dawson tell you to do it? Don't look at him. Look at me.
Sir.
Private. Answer the lieutenant's question.
I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson of the United States Marine Corps, and I followed it.
What are you gonna do when you get back?
What are you gonna do when you get back?
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Oh no!
Not me.
Oh no!
Not us.
What are we gonna do when we get back?
All the jumpers need to attack.
Where do you think he is? As far as Dawson concerned, Lieutenant Kendrick gave him code red. He never distinguished between... Danny, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Sam and I were just thinking that we talked to witnesses and they talk about implied orders, and we put Dawson on the stand and back it down.
Maybe if we work at it, we can get Downey charged with stealing the Lindbergh baby.
Are you drunk?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'll go make a pot of coffee.
She's gonna make coffee. He wasn't at the meeting, Joe. Wasn't even there. That's an important piece of information, don't you think?
It was just a setback. We can fix it. We can go find Markinson.
Markinson's dead. He got in a full dress uniform, drew a nickel-plated revolver from his pocket, and then fired a bullet straight into his mouth. He was at the Beltway Motor Lodge. That's 3 blocks from here. Anyway, since we seem to be out of witnesses, I thought I'd drink a little.
I still think we can win.
But maybe you need to drink a little.
We go to Randolph right now. We get a 24-hour delay.
Why would we do that?
To subpoena Colonel Jessup.
What?
Just listen to me.
No.
Just hear me out.
No! I won't hear you out, Joe. Your passion is compelling. It's also useless. Because Loudon Downey needed a trial lawyer today.
You walk away from this now and you seal their fate.
Their fate was sealed the moment Santiago died.
You have to call Jessup.
I don't have to do shit.
You asked for a transfer order. Why?
What does it matter?
Why?
Because I wanted the damn transfer orders.
Bullshit. You could have called it from one of the dozen apartments at the Pentagon. You didn't want a transfer order. You want to see Jessup's reaction, you got it. You had an instinct and it was confirmed by Markinson. Now damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this.
And what possible good will come from putting Jessup on the stand?
He told Kendrick to order the code red.
He did. Of course. And why didn't you just say so? And you have proof of this, right? Wait, I'm sorry. I forgot. You were sick the day they taught law at law school.
You put him on the stand. You get it from him.
We get it from him. Yes, of course. Colonel Jessup, isn't it true that you ordered the code red, coerced the doctor, forged the transfer order, and fixed the logbook for all? I'm sorry. We're out of time. What do we have for the losers, Johnny? Well, for the defendants of the lifetime at Exotic Court Leavenworth, where every day is Valentine's Day for our handsome young Marines. For Lieutenant Cappy, that's right, it's a court-martial. Yes, after accusing a highly decorated Marine officer of perjury and conspiracy, Lieutenant Cappy will have a long and prosperous career teaching typewriter maintenance at the Rocco Colombo School for Women. Thank you for playing Should We or Should We Not Follow the Advice of the Galactically Stupid!
I'm sorry I lost you your set of steak knives.
Get out! Stop cleaning up. Sam, stop cleaning up. You want a drink?
No.
Is your father proud of you, Sam?
Don't do this to yourself.
Is he, though? Is he very proud?
Yeah.
I'll bet he is. I'll bet he bores the shit out of the neighbors. Aunts, uncles, people he works with. Hey, look, Sam's made log with it. Look, Sam's got a big case coming. Look, he's arguing. He's making an argument. I think my father would have enjoyed seeing me graduate from law school. I think he would have enjoyed that an awful lot. Did you know the man spent half of his life defending the Constitution of the United States, the other half trying to prove he wasn't a communist? He died young, he died tired. I'm very angry about that, Sam.
He'd have been proud of you yesterday. You should have seen yourself thunder away at Kendrick. It was a sight to see. He'd have been proud of you yesterday.
What about today?
Today you did the best you could.
I think we should talk to Dawson.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss being in charge of socks and underwear.
Wait. What?
Socks and...
Socks and underwear, exactly. The file. In the file, Joe had the inventory of Santiago's foot locker, right?
What are you talking about?
Who knew that Santiago wasn't going to be transferred? Name the people.
Jessup.
Right?
Markinson.
Right, who else?
Kendrick.
Santiago.
What?
Really, Santiago? Santiago knew he wasn't going to be transferred. It took me 5 weeks to figure it out. It's beyond me, but given time, I'll find a way to blame you. Come on. I need you to prep me on Jessup, and I need Joe to get that continuance. Let's go.
No, wait a second. You need a witness.
I have a witness.
A dead witness?
In the arms of a lesser attorney, that'd be a problem. Now, come on.
What the hell?
Cover-up isn't our case, Sam. In order for us to win, we have to get Jessup on the stand and say he ordered the code red.
You think you can get him to just say it?
Oh, I think he wants to say it. I think he's pissed off that he's got to hide it from us. I think he wants to say that he made an executive order. That's that. He eats breakfast 80 yards away from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill him. No one is going to tell him how to run his unit, especially not a pushy broad smart Jew with a Harvard mouth. If I can get him to defend himself, if I can just get him to defend himself, he'll say he ordered the code red.
You need a window. He has no weaknesses. He won't let you near him.
He has a weakness.
What?
He thinks he was right. Say, Sam, have you ever heard of the story of Lieutenant Commander Galloway and Lieutenant Colonel Jessup?
I believe I have, Danny. It's a story of courage and conviction, is it not?
Right you are. See, Commander Galloway was investigating a crime, and she had a question, and she wanted the Colonel to answer it.
Now, this Colonel is a very intimidating character.
Sure, to some people. To some people, he's the stuff of which nightmares are made of.
Oh, but not to Commander Galloway.
No, sir. Because Commander Galloway, she ain't scared of nothing. She had a question, and she wanted the Colonel to answer it. She was confident, and she was relentless, and she did her job.
What do you want?
I want to talk to you about Lance Corporal Dawson and PFC Loud Donnelly.
Down.
Down.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
No, I can't accept that. We braved extraordinary circumstances to get over here. My car ran out of gas halfway up 8th Street, and Sam had to run half a mile to get help. Anyway, the wife and I were thinking, maybe we're going to court tomorrow, save our clients' lives. While we're at it, maybe we stick some maniacs behind bars to boot. We thought you'd like to come join. What do you say?
I can't seem to defend people.
I'm sorry you feel that way. You're my hero, Joanne. From the first day, you were a lawyer. Live with that.
10 hut!
Lieutenant Cav, are you prepared to call your witness?
Your Honor, I don't suppose it would do any good to make a motion for dismissal at this point.
I'm glad to see that you still have your sense of humor, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Defense calls Colonel Nathan Jessup.
Colonel Nathan Jessup is called.
Colonel, have you been previously sworn, sir?
I have not.
Would you raise your right hand and push left on this Bible? Do you swear the testimony you will give today in this General Court Martial will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
For the record, would you state your full name, rank, and current billet, please, sir?
Colonel Nathan Robert Jessup, Commanding Officer, Marine Ground Forces, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Would you have a seat, please, sir?
Colonel, after learning of Santiago's letter to the NIS, you had a meeting with your two senior officers, correct?
Yes.
The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, and the company commander, Captain Matthew Markinson.
That's right.
And at present, Captain Markinson is dead, correct?
Objection! I'd like to know just what defense counsel is implying.
Your Honor, the defense is simply implying that at present, Captain Markinson is no longer alive.
Well, surely Colonel Jessup doesn't need to appear in this courtroom to confirm that.
I just wasn't sure if the witness was aware that 2 days ago, Captain Markinson took his own life with a .45 caliber pistol.
The witness is aware, the court is aware, and now the jury is aware. We thank you for bringing this to our attention. Move on, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel, at the time of this meeting, you gave Lieutenant Kendrick an order, correct?
Yes, I told Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago wasn't to be touched.
And did you give Captain Markinson an order as well?
Yes, I told Markinson that Santiago was to be transferred off the base. Immediately.
Why was that?
Well, we feared that once word of the letter got out, the private's life might be in danger.
Grave danger.
Is there any other kind?
Colonel, this is the transport order that you and Captain Markinson co-signed, having Santiago be lifted on a flight leaving Guantanamo Bay at 6 o'clock the next morning. This 6 a.m. flight, it was the first flight off the base,
The
correct?
O-600 was the very first flight off the base.
Thank you. Colonel, You flew up to Washington early this morning, correct?
Yes.
And I can see you're wearing your Class A dress uniform for your appearance in court.
As are you, Lieutenant.
Did you wear that uniform on the plane?
Please, the court. Is this dialogue relevant to anything in particular?
Your Honor, the defense didn't have the opportunity to depose the witness, and we'd ask the court for a little latitude.
Very little attitude.
Yes, sir. Colonel?
I wore my fatigues on the plane.
And you brought your dress uniform with you?
Yes.
A toothbrush, a shaving kit, a change of underwear.
Your Honor.
Is the Colonel's underwear really a matter of national security?
It's somewhat fast with this, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel.
I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Thank you. Now, after Dawson and Downey's arrest on the night of the 6th, Santiago barracks room was sealed up and its contents inventoried. 4 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of black socks, 4 pairs of green socks.
Your Honor, is there a question anywhere in our future?
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. This is a record of the telephone calls made from your base in the past 24 hours. Now, after being subpoenaed to Washington, you made 3 phone calls. And I've highlighted those calls in yellow. Do you recognize those numbers?
Yes, I called Colonel Fitzhughes in Quantico, Virginia, let him know I'd be in town. Second call was to Congressman Richmond of the House Armed Services Committee. And third call to my sister Elizabeth.
Why did you make that call, sir?
I thought she might like to have dinner tonight.
Your Honor.
I'm going to put a stop to this.
Your Honor, this is a record of the telephone calls made from Gitmo on the night of July 6th. And these are 14 letters that Santiago wrote in the 9 months requesting, in fact, begging for a transfer order. And upon hearing the news that he was finally being transferred, Santiago was so excited that do you know how many people he called? 0. Nobody. Not one call to his parents saying he was finally getting out. Not one call to a friend saying, can you pick me up at the airport? He was asleep in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours. And everything he owned was folded neatly in a footlocker and hanging neatly in a closet. Colonel, you were leaving for Washington for 1 day, and you packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life. And he hadn't packed a thing. And he hadn't called a soul. Can you explain it? The fact is, Santiago wasn't going anywhere. Isn't that right, Colonel?
Objection! Your Honor, it's obvious that Lieutenant Captain's intention this morning is to smear a high-ranking Marine officer in the desperate hope that the mere appearance of impropriety will win him point with the jury. It's my recommendation, sir, that Lieutenant Captain be reprimanded for his conduct and the witness be excused with the court's deepest apologies.
Overruled.
Your Honor!
Objection is noted.
Colonel, is this funny, sir?
No, it's not. It's tragic.
Do you have an answer?
Absolutely. My answer is I don't have the first damn clue. Maybe PFC William T. Santiago was an early riser. He liked to pack in the morning. Maybe the kid didn't have any friends. I'm an educated man, Lieutenant, but afraid I can't speak intelligently to the travel habits of William T. Santiago. Now, are these really the questions I was calling you to answer? Phone calls and footlockers? Please, counselor, tell me you have something more. 2 Marines are on trial for their lives. Please, tell me their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill.
Lieutenant Caffey?
Anything else you'd like to ask me, counselor?
You have anything further for this witness?
Well, thanks, Danny. I do love Washington.
Excuse me. I didn't dismiss you.
I beg your pardon?
I said I'm not through with my examination. I didn't dismiss you. Sit down.
Colonel!
What's that?
I want the man to address me as either Colonel or Sir. I do believe I've earned it.
Defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
What the hell kind of an outfit are you running here?
And the witness shall address this court as Judge, Your Honor. Quite certain that I've earned it. Take your seat, Colonel.
What would you like to ask me now, Danny? My favorite color?
Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight. It was the first flight off.
Yes.
There wasn't a flight that left 7 hours earlier and landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.?
Lieutenant, I thought we covered this.
Your Honor, in just a moment, defense will be calling Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Perez to the stand. Airman O'Malley and Perez were working the ground crew on the morning of the 7th.
Your Honor, are these men on the list?
Rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor, called specifically to review testimony offered under direct examination.
I'll allow the witnesses.
Colonel, a moment ago.
Check the tower logs, I mean, for Christ's sake.
We'll get to the airman in just a minute. Colonel, a moment ago, you said you gave Lieutenant Kendrick an order, correct?
That's right.
And Kendrick was clear on what you wanted?
Crystal.
Is there any chance Kendrick ignored the order?
Ignore the order.
Is there any chance Kendrick just forgot about it?
No.
Is there any chance Kendrick left your office and said the old man is wrong?
No.
And when Kendrick told the platoon that Santiago wasn't to be touched, is there any chance they ignored him?
Have you ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in the forward area?
No, sir.
Have you ever put your life in another man's hands and asked him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders, or people die. It's that simple. Now, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. Colonel, I have just one more question before I call Airman O'Malley to the stand. If you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why would it be necessary for him to be transferred off the base?
I'm sorry, would you repeat the question?
If you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why would it be necessary for him
Santiago
to
was
be
being transferred because he was a
No,
substandard
sir,
Marine.
that's not what you said a moment ago. You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
I recall
You said
what
he was
I
in
said.
danger. I said grave danger. You said is there any other kind of danger?
I know what I said.
I can have the court reporter.
I know what I said. I don't need to
Then why the orders? Colonel, why?
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
No, sir. You made it very clear just a moment ago that your men never take matters into their own hands. Your men follow orders when people die. So Santiago should never have been in any danger at all should he have turned. It's a paradox, isn't it? A paradox.
You little bastard!
That's for recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
That makes two of us.
If Kendrick pulled his men and Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred? Colonel, Kendrick ordered the cookbook, didn't he? Because that's what you told him to do.
Object!
Wait a minute! You cut these guys! You had marked the time for example. You doctored the logbook of the documents. You could have just about last the fourth time.
You want answers?
I am entitled to that.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. The truth is, we live in a world that has walls. Those walls need to be guarded by men with guns. Now, who's going to do that? You? Or you, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago. You curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing what I know. But Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. My existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it. Can't handle it because deep down, in places you don't like to talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. Because you need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use them as the backbone to a life spent defending something. use them as a punchline. Frankly, I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very protection that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. Rather, you said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you take up a weapon, stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
You ordered the code red.
I did the job they sent me to do.
You ordered the code red!
Goddamn right I did!
Police and court, I suggest that the members be dismissed so that we can move to an immediate Article 39A session. The witness has rights.
Jack.
I concur.
The members will be moved to an anteroom. We'll await for further instructions.
What the hell is going on? Captain, what the hell is going on? I'm not familiar with this Article 39A. Did my job, I do it again. I'm getting on a plane, now I'm going back to my...
Guard the prisoner.
What?
MPs guard the prisoner.
They ordered the code red and everybody's going to pieces like a ladies' auxiliary or something.
Colonel Jessup, you have the right to remain silent. Any statement you do make can be used against you in a trial by court-martial or other judicial or administrative proceeding. You have the right to consult with a lawyer prior to questioning. This lawyer may be a civilian lawyer retained at no cost to the United States or by a military lawyer, appointed to act as your counsel.
I'm being charged with a crime. That's what this is, huh? It's funny. I'm gonna rip out your eyes and piss in your damn skull! You messed with the Royal Marine, Captain!
Colonel Jessup, do you understand these rights as I have read them to you?
You goddamn people! You have no idea how to defend the nation. All you did was weaken the country tonight, Cappy. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I am a lawyer and an officer of the United States Navy. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch. The witness is excused.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Corporal Dawson's passing by.
Corporal Dawson's passing by.
On the charge of murder in the second degree, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conduct unbecoming of the United States Marine, the members find the defendants guilty as charged. The defendants are hereby ordered to time served to the bring up to this point in order to be dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
And hut!
No.
Harold, I'm sorry.
I don't understand.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red.
I know,
Colonel
but...
Jessup said he ordered the code red. What did we do wrong?
Ask Dawson.
We did nothing wrong.
A jury just said your conduct was unbecoming a United States Marine. What does that mean?
You're the lawyer.
You're the Marine.
Not anymore. Al, what did that mean? Look,
What does that mean?
it means you beat the shit out of the wrong guy. I'm serious. What does that mean? You're gonna have to stop asking me that.
Lieutenant Captain! Gotta take these guys down to person office and paperwork.
Harold, you don't need to wear a patch on your arm to have honor.
And hut. There's an officer on deck.
Dismissed.
Airman Cisco Valley and Perez. What are they, decorating shortstop, little one-heads?
Come by at the court, Jack. Airman O'Malley and Perez were really working the ground crew on the morning of the 7th.
And they saw the plane land?
I never said that.
Good job.
People had a case, Jack.
See you around the campus.
Gotta go, Russ Kennedy.
Tell him I said hi.
How about a celebration? I'm fine. Sam?
I think I'm gonna go talk to my daughter. She must be bilingual by now.
What's next for you?
Me? Hector Baines. He went to the movies on company time. What about you?
Me? Oh, you know, the usual.
Just annoying people, huh?
So how about that drink?
I'll hook up with you. I think I'm gonna get started on Baines. You know, stand my post for a little bit.
You're like 7 of the strangest men I ever met.
Lift your head and lift it high. Daniel Caffey's passing